The coronavirus.
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 I urge you to stay at home, protect our NHS, and save lives.
To cut down on social interactions.
Social distancing, home quarantine.
190,584 people have now tested positive for coronavirus.
We will immediately close all shops selling non-essential goods, including clothing and electronic stores.
What are we to do about our mental health in the midst of this pandemic?
We're all concentrating on the physical signs of coronavirus, but actually we're facing probably a mental health epidemic.
The coronavirus outbreak is fertile ground for those with any mental health conditions.
If people cooperate with that, then we have a chance that the NHS will be able to cope.
We will beat the coronavirus, and we will beat it together.
Hi, my name's Shawnee Craig. I work for the Medical Legal Services in the Belfast Health and Social Care Trust. I've currently been on lockdown for 5 weeks, give or take, with my elderly father, who is 77 and has a lot of health issues, and my 19-year-old son, who they were sent home from all their classes, and he is doing online classes at home.
Hi, I'm Catherine and I write Death Notices for the newsletter. I've been self-isolating since the 23rd of March, so that's about 5 weeks now. Since I have to self-isolate alone, I've just been staying in my student accommodation here in Belfast and then just driving back and forth to work. A lot of people have already moved out to go back home, including all my flatmates, so the place is pretty empty, and Student Roost have set up measures within the building, like closing the cinema room and enforcing social distancing by only allowing one person in the lift or laundry room at a time to try and stop the spread of the virus. My job makes me realise the seriousness of the virus, as we've gotten a lot of calls from funeral directors telling us that the notices we're putting in for them are for people who have died from corona. And it's actually really sad because a lot of their family members and loved ones can't even say proper goodbye since you're not allowed large gatherings anymore, so they're not allowed to attend the funerals. I've also experienced something similar to this with my own family. Because I still have to go into work, my family aren't allowing me to go back home because some of them are high risk. Like my brother has Crohn's disease, and because of this, he has a really weak immune system and could die if he catches corona. It's also really difficult because it means that I can't go to say goodbye to my nanny, who I've been told is going to die soon, and that because of this pandemic, myself and my siblings mightn't even be able to attend the funeral.
My father is really high risk. He is afraid to leave the house. He's stuck inside. His mood is so low. He's off his food. He is not sleeping great. And my 19-year-old son as well, his days are his nights and his nights are his days lately. So it's going to have a real effect on everybody's mental health.
Hi, my name is Fazlin and I'm working as a therapist. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, I've noticed a marked increase in the amount of people looking for emotional and therapeutic support. In fact, I've probably increased my client base by a large percentage in the most recent weeks. COVID-19 seems to be having a detrimental impact on people emotionally, in the sense that I am seeing increased levels of stress. I'm seeing increased levels of anxiety. There's altered daily routines. There's also a huge level of anticipated grief that people seem to be experiencing, and that is mostly fueled by the fear of getting ill, the fear of getting sick, the fear of possibly dying, and also the fear of our loved ones getting sick and possibly dying. So you will find that people are struggling to sleep at night. Their routines are all messed up. Some people have absolutely no routine whatsoever. So everybody's different, but there's kind of a constant in that we're all experiencing elevated stress on some level, elevated anxiety on some level, and we're all living with a sense of loss on some level. It's really just how we're coping with it all.
I think is suffering. I think after this is all relaxed, lockdown has been lifted, I think a lot of people are going to need counselling, and maybe suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder.
So yeah, definitely social distancing, in my opinion, is definitely causing more mental health issues for people and causing mental distress for people. And I think it's important to realize that we're all going through it, really. Even myself, we're all going through the stages. And so a lot of my work is really just helping people to kind of recognize and gain awareness of these stages so that they can then manage it for themselves, as everybody's situation is so different.
Do I feel safe working in the Mater Hospital? I sometimes feel safe and sometimes I don't feel safe. It really depends on other people. We are provided with gloves, masks. We do adhere to social distancing. Around the hospital itself, the porters and security, the domestic staff, they would be the ones more on the front line, the first responders, so to speak. They have been given the use of St Malachy's School for shower purposes, they're given scrubs, and if someone has passed away and they have to go in and clean that area, so they're given their scrubs. They've got the PPE gear, and we currently operate a one-way system to get into the St Malachy's School. So you're going in one way, you're using the shower facilities, and you're coming out round the side so that you're not cross-contaminating that same area, basically.
Yeah, I do feel quite safe working because there's only ever 2 of us working at a time doing the death notices. There's no one else in the office because most of them are now working at home, and our job starts after hours when everyone else would be away home anyway. Myself and my colleagues sit across the table from one another, which is about 2 meters apart. So we're social distancing, and we always disinfect our workstations before we start working. I also feel quite safe in Roost because there's no one else here, and I regularly clean everything to make sure I don't bring the virus back in with me after work.
The pandemic itself has certainly changed life as we know it. There's a real need for us to support each other, and there's a real need for people living on their own to avail of emotional and therapeutic support at this stage. There's a huge lack of control over anything. Before we could kind of plan our day, we could set goals, we could do certain things, and we could achieve those things, but now we're suffering from a lack of control, really. So I think at the moment it appears that everybody's just trying to deal with each day as it comes, I suppose.
We're all going to get through this. We're going to come out the other side, and hopefully maybe we'll be a better society, a better community. I think it has brought people together a lot more, unexpectedly. No one expected a global pandemic to bring communities together, but that's generally what it has done. I think Belfast is coping very well. I think there's a lot of community spirit. There really is. You see the street bingo. It's the community itself. They're looking after people. They are, asking for donations of food, and they are bringing them round to the vulnerable in the communities. There's a lot of community spirit in Belfast, I have to say. We're supporting each other. Yeah, it does feel like as if you're forcing yourself out of bed in the mornings, getting yourself into work, getting through the day as best you can, because it's not good for your mental health to be stuck in the house all day. The only thing that you could maybe do to keep your spirits up is go for your daily exercise, through 1 walk a day that is recommended, but I don't think that's enough for people.
When this pandemic's over, I'm most looking forward to meeting up with friends and going out to places like Cuckoo.
What am I most looking forward to when quarantine ends? I think just the freedom again. The freedom to do what you want, when you want. Just the freedom to get on the bus and go into town shopping around TK Maxx. really is what I've probably be looking forward to most.
I am most looking forward to seeing my daughter who lives in Belfast, as I miss her so much.
What I would say to people is, you know, keep going. Remember, everybody's doing the right thing. Stay home, social distance, just try to keep your spirits up and look after yourselves, look after your mental health and your loved ones' mental health, because it is very, very important. Don't do what Donald Trump has suggested and eject bleach, please.
Okay.